You'll want to hear tips on how to stop fighting about money with your loved one. This couple followed the tips, and it worked for them.
People will steal from their mother. People will rob their own brother.
All right, Brian. You could feel like a match made in heaven, but if you and your spouse fight about money, your marriage could be headed for trouble. So how can couples get on the same page when it comes to finances? Because after all, it is the #1 thing people argue about when they're married. Joining us right now is the author of The Couple's Guide to Financial Compatibility, Jeff Motske, and a couple who used his tips. We've got Sue and Chris joining us live. Good morning to all of you. I'll start with you. And it is the #1 thing couples argue about. It's not who's going to take out the garbage. It's I just got the Nordstrom bill. What were you thinking?
It's the #1 thing, and it's one of the deepest things that people argue about. It just causes very deep fights.
All right, we're going to get into your personal story in a moment, but first, he's got some suggestions, and this might be able to help you folks at home. First of all, you say take the quiz. What quiz?
Take the quiz. I developed a quiz. It's 34 questions. It talks about essentially planning, trust, risk, those types of areas out there. And it goes into really questions that I think most couples don't even think about. When you finish taking the quiz, I guarantee you're going to walk out of that house, into the car, start talking about one of those particular topics. It's really important to you, and say, hey, well, how did you answer that question about child care?
Sure. And by the way, you can go to foxandfriends.com and we'll link to your website so people can take the test for free. Meanwhile, the 3 highlighter test I think is fantastic.
That is one that I talked about all the time with couples for the past 20 years. It's essentially a way to really evaluate your credit card statements, because most people, where they have problems is they overspend, and it's due to credit. So take the 3 highlighters and take one color and do essentially your necessities that are there: your car, your housing, your food, and essentially health and child care. And then go to your next category, which is your lifestyle, like to have, and color those differently. And then finally do the frivolous ones. And what I find with most couples is those frivolous ones add up, and the lifestyle ones add up, and you can start making different decisions.
Okay, while he was describing that, you were nodding your head. We should explain, in the beginning, you guys were loggerheads when it came to your finances, right?
Yeah, we definitely were. She did a little retail therapy on the side, I think.
It makes you feel so much better until the bill comes, right?
Yeah.
So what brought critical mass where you said to yourself, we got to do something about this?
Well, she, like I said, she used to like to do a little retail therapy, and so we have separate accounts, but she would sometimes dip into our mutual account or mutual credit card.
The joint account?
Yes.
Yeah, the old joint account. So, and every now and then, you know, we would overdraw because I wasn't prepared for that. So that would, you know, get us butting heads and arguing a bit.
Oh, okay, and then you heard about Jeff's system, and you did the highlighter test. How'd that work out?
Yeah, we did. Well, we actually started with the quiz, and the quiz actually kind of sets the, you know, the groundwork for.
This is what you need to work on.
Yeah, the quiz is actually what brought us together and talking into things, and brought us to actually just sit down and start talking about our finances. Actually, for me, it just brought us closer to him, because he started being able to communicate with me where our areas are of spending were going. So especially with the highlighter, that was for me the most essential thing, because he started highlighting.
It's visual.
Everything.
You can say, wait, that's
exactly like you're spending here and spending here, and I'm like,
daisy. Now, one of the things you suggest is a financial date night. What is that?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I think that's the other one. The quiz starts the conversations. The financial date night really gets you thinking and talking together about how to harmonize your finances. And what I love about it is take a time where you go for a nice dinner, a bottle of wine, or a cup of coffee, a dessert, and you talk about your finances, you talk about your goals, where things are going to be in your future. And they actually did something a little bit different. They actually are using a date drive.
Yeah, that really resonated.
You're not drinking with the bottle of wine.
No.
That's after. No, that really resonated with us, and I think what we do like to take drives and kind of just kind of get away from things, maybe go upstate or whatever. And
plenty of time to talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you think about it, you're in a car, you're listening to music, but basically it's just the two of you, and it was a great opportunity for us to kind of look at our future and plan for it.
And Jeff, the final tip is paint by numbers, and this is what you say the average American family should do. They should spend 55% of their cash on housing, cars, food, medical, and child care, 25% on their emergency fund and your retirement.
Right. Yeah, retirement goals. I mean, this is real important for people. So this is an average American. If they could spend 55% of their income on their necessities, and then 25%, you need an emergency fund in case something happens where you no longer have income, and retirement, and then whatever your personal goals are, and then the rest can be spent on what I call lifestyle type categories. So that's how you kind of push it all together. And as you get raises, you tend to spend more money in technology and lifestyle in those areas.
20%.
What I would say is put more of that money towards emergency, retirement, whatever those personal goals are.
Well, fantastic. Well, it's great, and I'm sure a whole bunch of people are going to take your quiz. Thank you very much for joining us today to tell your personal story.
Thank you.
We've learned a lot. I got to go buy 3 highlighters now. All right, it is 6:30 here in New York City now. Straight ahead.